What's up, all you hip, cool, groovy cats? What's shaking and baking in your side of the town? Welcome to Chicago Reacts. I'm joined here today with the one legendary Kira in the house.
Hello, I'm in the house.
If you don't know who I am, I'm Kit. How y'all doing? And today, we're gonna do something that's pretty hip and cool with all the cool kids, right?
It's what we do.
Elden Ring review, Dark Souls.
1, 2, 3, 4,
6.
6.
Dung Eater Edition by SsethTzeentach, a wise professor and scientist who has solved many mysteries for humanity for the betterment of us all.
Okay. Whatever you say, man.
Yes, because in my latest book, I am always right. This is correct. But also, before we play our hip cool video of our good friend SsethTzeentach, I need to promote something. There's a Twitch channel out there.
There is a Twitch channel. There's several Twitch channels.
But there's one that's really awesome. It's called Chicago Plays, Chicago _Plays. And you know what? We're reacting to videos. We're doing exercises. We're playing some video games. We're having some conversations. So go ahead, check us out on Twitch. Because guess what? The great and talented Michael and Zach are live every Monday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. The wonderful, outstanding, legendary Kelsey, Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. The wonderful, incredible, outstanding, legendary Kira McCown, live always 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then, of course, there is me, Kit. That's right, your pal. One who goes on the adventures, fighting the monsters and demons and heretics and Xenos every Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you don't got it, get it. And if you don't get it, go figure it out.
That's what I say.
But until then, let us react to Elden Ring review. Dark Souls 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm
4,
still
6.
not understanding all the 4 and 6 and
Dung Eater Edition.
Yeah, it's
trademark by SsethTzeentach. Hey DJ, hit that play button.
One heck of a title.
More time.
Hey people,
Hey.
Seth here. The following is highly experimental and may come off as disjointed or schizophrenic. I don't care. Elden Ring, the newest hot release by Hideo Miyazaki of Ghibli Studios, famous for classic animations such as Howl's Moving Mausoleum and My Invader Totoro. From Software have really outdone themselves, as this game features not 1, but 2 crustaceans, possibly even more. Unfortunately, I haven't unlocked the ability to swim, so I cannot confirm or deny that. The game begins and I make my character. His name? Sambubu. His class, naturally, is wretched. I did originally consider prisoner, but I chose not to. I take the key as my starting item, and live to regret it.
Part slave, so I don't think we need to explain it to you. What that is. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Immediate access to a side dungeon and get run over repeatedly by a speeding train. I chose instead to go the other way. After camping a few times, Melina comes by and offers me an accord. I turn it down because I think it's funny. I then proceed to kill Morgott and Godric before I realize I haven't leveled up. How was I supposed to know I had to say yes? Miyazaki, just because I'm offered the ability to talk to a woman doesn't mean I'm going to take it. I think that's a symptom of bad design. Conversely, I fell for the oldest trick in the book, the warm embrace of a woman's lap. Oh.
But wait, she might have been tricking him and taking advantage of his heart.
She may have been, That's true. That's true. We don't know. We don't know the rest of the story.
Once again, a kind and caring young prince taking advantage of.
Yes. Exactly.
That's
how that happens.
It's a debuff. What did they mean by this?
You are very warm.
You are very, very warm.
A 14-minute video to figure out the true symbology behind this item description. I tell you, passive storytelling at its very best, especially when half the characters either disappear, die, or start T-posing during your playthrough. This might bother people who believe there's a story, which is the equivalent of finding a bunch of random notes and thinking to yourself, damn, that book was wild. Halo's plot is crazy. Have you not read all the secret terminals? On the bright side, Dark Souls lore channels now have a steady source of bread for the next 4 years.
Oh yeah, that's actually pretty good. Elden Ring popular.
Oh, really?
You'll know every side character better than your own family. I don't remember which war Granddad
Yeah,
was
that's-
fighting, but I do know Patches.
Stock
I know that
photo.
Canonically, he is circumcised. Honestly, I don't judge. I still get to have my wife Ronnie. What I'm criticizing is the involvement of this fat fuck. Celebrated offer, helping to...
First of all, I have my opinion on George R. R. Martin. Look,
Who is this?
This is the author of Game of Thrones, Kira.
Okay.
So let me just explain it to all the people watching and understand this too. Look, the man wrote great literature here and there, but the thing is, he didn't finish Game of Thrones. We're still waiting for book 6 and book 7, right?
Mm-hmm,
and the thing is, Game of Thrones, a TV show, they rushed through season 6, 7, and 8, and it was crap. And the thing is, now George is focusing on the House of Dragon, all this other stuff. It's like, finish the goddamn books.
There were 8 seasons of Game of Thrones?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Season 6, 7, and 8 are shit. And his involvement, I just like, finish your goddamn books, bro. Alright? Like, either shit or get off the pot.
Weave the narrative experience? Okay, let's see what this dude wrote. Sunset found her squatting in the grass, groaning. Every stool was looser than the one before and smelled fouler. By the time the moon came up, she was shitting brown water. The more she drank, the more she shat. But the more she shat, the thirstier she grew. And her thirst sent her crawling to the stream to suck up more water. I rest my case. J.R.R. Martin is the greatest author who has ever lived. He has also never finished his books, and so, fittingly...
And also, he's an extreme foodie and has a lot of weird porn here and there in his books.
Okay.
Let's just say it's...
Right on.
From Software
Right
has
on.
embodied the spirit of J.R.R. Martin by never finishing a single quest line. Elden Ring is an ambitious platformer, and if you disagree, you haven't played the game, because half this game is jumping with a head start, or falling into a hole, into a canyon, into the place you originally wanted to, but accidentally jumped before doing so, adding an extra foot to the height of your fall, which turned it into a lethal descent. There's nothing I love more than jumping awkwardly off rooftops. But how do we spice it up? Archers. You love archers. They're on every roof, and they've got tracking. And guess what? The sewer levels are back. And this time, they're essential
Oh,
to
God.
Game of the year. Calling them out in your game, Torrent. Absolute genius. So anybody Googling Elden Ring Torrent gets a bunch of horse pictures instead. I can't wait until Elden Ring 2 features the popular and beloved character Codex de Nuvo pre-cracked nose virus. But why are we here?
Oh, dude. Oh, wait. I gotta take another screenshot. God damn it, screenshot.
There you go. So for all of our viewers, they get a little shot there. So hold on. Do this.
What are we doing? What are we screenshotting here?
They're screenshotting the feet right there. So there you go.
Why are they screenshotting the feet?
I don't. Wait, maybe they're trying to see up her dress. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'm not totally sure, but it's a passed out lady, so I'm gonna not pose.
John Elden Ring, so I can give a few pointers. Have you ever used a weapon, armor, fast travel, potions, or opened the world map? I'm sorry to say, but you're playing the game wrong. This game is meant to be played level 1 as a wretch, using a single club, no upgrades. If you disagree, I'll call you a casual. If you ever hear someone talking like this, take pity on them, because this behavior is characteristic of someone who stacks no paper and gets no bitches. This game isn't hard, not because it's not hard, but because video games fundamentally aren't hard. You know what's hard? The circumstances of life. Getting a degree, having a stable family. You're born with a baby arm. You're born and one arm develops normally into an adult arm, but the other is this stunted mini child arm, which stops growing at like 3 years of age. So you're this freakish monstrosity. You'll be known around town as Baby Arm Man, and the only job you'll ever have is baby arm stock photo, because it's harder for them to get a kid to pose for that. It's a lot more convenient to have a malformed monstrosity
It's
on
so
standby.
uncomfortable.
I genuinely believe that.
Here's my arm.
Your Homo sapiens brain is
No,
literally
not
destroyed
that.
because
Not that's not
experience
uncomfortable.
by
Just
What is uncomfortable?
what is uncomfortable? Oh man, this is such a complex
All right.
question. So what is uncomfortable about that? Well, I've personally known people with like issues like that, you know?
Whoa!
And like several. And
really?
Yeah. And so it's like you know, it's.
Oh my God! I never knew this.
I don't know that I like think it's particularly funny, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, I think that there's a place for comedy, and you know, I think that comedy. Well, like you're kind of allowed to bust nuts. I mean, I don't know. You know, like
we've talked about this before.
Yeah. So that's kind of that's why I was like, this is a little complex, but like. You know, it's uncomfortable for me just because I'm just like, yeah, you know, like, but at the same time, it's like, it's comedy. Like, my experience of SsethTzeentach is that he, like his brand of comedy is like, there's a discomfort there. Yeah. You know, and like, I think that there is comedy that is like that. That's all.
I would say that comedy is there to remind us that we're all human and to point out our flaws. And everything in the realm of comedy is open to be pointed at, to be poked at, and to be ridiculed and to be called out on.
Yeah. Well, and so, and on the other side of that, it's just like, you know, like, it's uncomfortable because it's like, and then do you say something? You know, and at the same time, I'm just like, a good comedian
knows how to do good stuff, like Bill Burr, for example.
But even as like you're watching, like I'm not even talking about the comedian. I'm talking about the reactor, the experience of the reactor to put this out on the internet. My immediate human reaction to a joke regarding somebody with a disability is like discomfort, right? And you know, at the same time. I want to consider like, well, what is the context we're in? We're all here to have a good time, you know? So like, you know, so like, so I have space for that. And then, so when you asked me, I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll get into it.
Okay. Well, that's why you like to comment, share, and subscribe.
That was my in, I guess, right? To having that conversation. But yeah, so that's it. Okay. All right.
Compensatory adaptation. I hope that people consider this in the future and later learn to recognize that the truest From Software experience would be a lobotomite run, where prior to playing, we perform a frontal lobotomy and sever your prefrontal cortex. Sometimes the only option you have to preserve the purity of your experience is brain damage. Multiplayer enhances the experience. Sometimes you'll see white phantoms briefly appear. These are players from other worlds going through their own journey. Once I saw
weird.
Teabagging a dead NPC. In this moment, I knew I was playing a masterpiece. Messages and appraisal are exactly how Reddit users believe karma works. You upvote, and you get actual physical nourishment from the karma. Oh look, a message on the floor. Maybe someone out there will tell me something useful. Then you open it and read it, only to see dog butthole, closely followed by Fortnite. According to a true story, once upon a time, Miyazaki's car broke down in the middle of a road. This was during winter, so no help was to be found, when suddenly 3 strangers appeared out of nowhere, sucked him off, and left without even saying a word. And that's how Miyazaki got the inspiration for Souls multiplayer. Gameplay, flawless, stunning, effervescent, just like Bloodborne is a complex allegory for sexually transmitted HIV. Elden Ring is a rich synesthesia between seeing Swampland and remembering Blighttown, or hearing Leyendell long after you've left the capital, because my ears are still ringing from the sound of those fucking trumpets. Actual real critique, no jokes, no giggles. I think every boss should have a stake of America outside the boss room. Generally, this is true, but sometimes I gotta walk, and traditionally, I do not consider cardio as part of a boss fight. Now, the walks are more generous than any other Souls game, but just because somebody chose to take a smaller shit in my rice doesn't change the fact that it's still there. Inside my bowl, steaming up my Tupperware. I would also have originally said that the death screen is quite long, but then I realized it's working as intended. You see, when you die in PvP, you have no option but to watch helplessly as someone spams point down and repeatedly defiles your dead body. My complaints are pretty mild. If, like me, you didn't realize Vigor has a non-linear scaling, it would have helped immensely to know that going 10 to 20 makes no tangible difference, but 20 to 40 is all the difference between taking a blow and getting one-tapped by most of the game. I wish I knew that at the start. Luckily, this game is very generous with its ability to reroll your character. If you're still paranoid, you can back up your save at no risk. I've done this more than 100 times without issue and recommend you do the same, because despite what anybody says, there's a million ways to brick your save. I've done it, I can reproduce it, it's still there. Also, easy anti-cheat is a very good anti-cheat because it's very easy to turn off. My friend may have done exactly that, and more. Tell me, Seth, was he punished? Is he banned? No, some of the later fights have interesting hitboxes. Not like I care. I cheesed through that shit. This game makes you realize the greatest companion you'll ever have is yourself. So why not make a copy? Lore. Before continuing, we have to stop and talk about the best character in the game. Dung Eater. Loathsome Dung Eater. Ferocious feaster of feces. Devious doo-doo devourer. Dung Eater consumes excrement, feces, shit even, nihilistic, and with a wicked sense of humor.
Like
His greatest desire is to eat the poo-poo and of course murder you and defile your dead body. I think there's a lot we can learn.
Yes, it reminds me of an episode of Rick and Morty that we reacted to when they were doing the multi-dimensional TV show, and one of the commercials was the guy who kept on eating bowls of shit. You know, it's like,
oh man. Eating poop to me, I think that I could eat poop before I eat like mucus or like
ew.
I think about these things too.
Well,
Join me Friday nights.
the closest thing I ever saw anything like that was when I went to college and I was doing like a research paper for my science class, and I had to do an observation on the great apes, and I went to the Lincoln Park Zoo. And I see this gorilla.
Oh God! Watching the monkeys and the gorillas eat their poop is too much.
No. Here's the thing. I saw this gorilla eating something. I was like, oh, you're doing something, right? What's he eating? Eating banana? Eating some fruit? Eating some grain? No, this gorilla had like a turd in its hand.
Oh no!
No. And this gorilla was eating. And then it makes eye contact with me, and I was surprised. I thought the gorilla was going to charge at me because you're not supposed to look at the gorilla. You know what the gorilla does? There's a glass right there. Like, he does this.
He points at it?
He points at it, and it's like he's offering it to me. Like, oh, you see me eat this? You want some? I'm like, no! And I was like, no.
Wow, thank you. Too bad this big glass barrier is between
barrier right there, and thank God we don't live in the planet of the apes.
I mean, otherwise I would absolutely say yes to your gracious offer.
No, I would not. I was just say like, no, man.
I'm polite to the gorilla.
I'm not hungry.
From Dung Eater, but as a society, we're not yet ready for that conversation. Builds. There's many builds. Strength is terrible until you realize you can power stance through the entire game and block everything else with barricade shield for 0 stamina. Going strength, unfortunately, puts you at the highest risk group for naming yourself the Black Swordsman and cosplaying as your favorite slice of life anime. If I see you doing this, I'll summon you intentionally so I can keep you from my world. Dexterity. Do you enjoy katanas? How about double katanas, each one longer than the last, using realistic, historically accurate sword techniques from feudal-era Japan? What about epic PvP compilations? Yes. Say no more. Get a river of blood today. Intelligence. Some would say a great deal of their enjoyment comes from learning the moveset of every boss. A rhythmic dance between sword, swipe, and parry. A lethal symphony, silenced only by death. Others would disagree. I'm confident that if you ask any player running sorcery what's their favorite boss, they'll recoil in surprise and say, I don't know any. I just sit at the back and spam Azure Comet. Faith. Incantations are very good. Abusing the animation of Catch Flame to cast them instantaneously is even better. And before you say it, I know. It's working exactly as intended. You know what else is intended? This. Also this. And this. My greatest enjoyment of this game, beyond the exploration, the richness of the graphics, and the scale of the world they made, has been abusing every mechanic I possibly can before it gets patched out. And so, inevitably, I have taken to abusing other players. You might call them humans. I call them people who use Moonveil unironically. And thus, I feel no remorse for any of my actions. In summary, Elden Ring attracts many different responses. Some fillet the long shaft of FromSoft endlessly. Others hate it because of their own incompetence. Walking manifestations of a Dunning-Kruger effect, these people believe that failure is not their own and somehow inflicted upon them by the universe. You can't be bad at video games, as video games are merely a subject matter. No, that is a deficit in your cognitive ability, something that likely plagues you in every aspect of your life. In summary, if you're you're bad at video games, you're bad at life. You've got a smooth brain and a low IQ. Your fate.
You gotta have good video game coordination always. Video games. They said it would make my brain melt. Turns out it's making me on point.
That's right. That's right.
To be a grunt in the New World Order. And then there's others, like me, who are quietly waking up to the fact that maybe we should have never dropped those bombs to begin with. I guess what I'm trying to say is Elden Scrolls 10 out of 10 garbage. I love it. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. If you're interested in some merchant multiplayer, password Fug Hunt goes in all fields. First 52 Invade get a 15% off their first month at FugHunters.com, the official sponsor of this video. And now, allow me to conclude this presentation with some calming visuals. Rest assured,
and all the moving around, I
can no longer be afflicted on another human being. A warm thanks to the many members of a Merchants Guild, generously funding and bankrolling these videos.
You think anybody's ever been able to like pause that at that level and like be like, "That's my name"?
I think the answer to your question is yes. They have to be very, they have to go through that fast forward list or slowly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty easy to do at this point.
Yeah, so there you go. Well, we learned something today.
Did we?
Yep. If you have a dream, go for it. If you know a person named...
Is that what we learned today?
Yes. We've also learned that if you run into a person named Dung Eater,
yes.
Avoid at all costs.
Yes.
I don't know what that means.
He'll smell up the entire room.
Always put a smile on people's faces. I was going to say fat. I said fat.
You did say fat.
I know. I said that.
Always put a smile on people's fat faces.
Fat faces, yeah, on your fat faces. And and also, you know what, folks? Love makes the world go round. Okay?
And that is our takeaway.
Of Elden Ring review, Dark Souls, 1, 2, 3, 4. What did I say 6 in Spanish? Yes.
Yes, 9, 10.
Yes. We got Dung Eater edition, trademark, by a hero. I don't say this word often. SsethTzeentach. We love you, buddy.
All right, yeah, bye.